This customer ordered a 3-tiered Disney Cars themed cake for his son's first birthday. I started out with a light blue buttercream base for the bottom tier, and then I added some brown buttercream towards the bottom. I wanted this to resemble mountains for a desert landscape, so I definitely didn't want it to be completely even or straight. After piping that uneven buttercream, I grabbed my scraper and just smoothed it all out. Once I was happy with the shape, I backed up some white buttercream and piped these little lines going across that brown frosting. I piped a little more, and this is just to give the desert rock layers a bit of depth and dimension. Now that the base of the bottom tier is done, I add the supports so that I can stack my second tier. I add a taller one to the center and then 3 shorter ones that are the same height as the bottom tier around that one. I used a white buttercream base for the middle tier and a red buttercream base for the top tier. Since I already have that landscape going for the bottom tier, I'm going to work on the base of the middle tier, which is a checkerboard pattern. Rolled out a large piece of black fondant and then just free-handed all of these squares using my roller cutter. I added them all around, and then I printed this Cars logo with the birthday boy's name, which is Liam, on an edible sugar sheet. Backed it with some fondant and then I placed it right at the center. Then cut out several clouds and placed them on that blue part of the bottom tier. After placing those all around, I sculpted this cactus or cacti that I added all along the bottom. Made these in different sizes and shapes, and I just used a little fondant tool to create those lines. I placed these all around that brown buttercream, and then I sculpted this cute little traffic light. I cut a tiny strip of black fondant to use as the post underneath it. It looks so cute. I think that was my favorite little element. Then I move on to the top tier. I cut out this big red fondant number 1 and placed it right at the center. Before I continue to add more things to the cake and board, I decide to decorate the board using these little white strips of fondant so that it could look like a road. The customer did want me to include a toy figure Mater and Lightning McQueen. This is the set that I purchased on Amazon. I know it came with 3 characters, but he only wanted me to include the 2. I'm sorry, that was like the worst unboxing ever. Here's what the characters look like, and I placed them right on top. Next, I sculpted these cute little orange cones to reference the Cozy Cone Motel. I placed one towards the top and the other one on the cake board. I then printed a few road signs as an edible image. I backed each one with fondant, and then I attached them to a silver cake pop stick with some chocolate melts to give it that post. Placed them all around, and then I sculpted these little rocks using gray, white, and brown fondant. Made sure to add a few above that falling rock sign. Next, I grabbed a few checkerboard flags and I placed them on top of the cake as well as some towards the side. Added some Lightning McQueen tires around the cake for added decor. The top was looking a little bit bare, so I added another traffic light since I loved it so much. Decided to add 2 more flags towards the back, and now this Disney Cars cake is all done. Here's what it looks like. For reference, this cake included 50 servings and it was $470. I hope you guys like this one.